Ah, sweet bird of youth, where hast thou flown, you son of a bitch? Yeah, I have to go to the dentist today, and I just had all that stuff done. I had 5 teeth pulled on the 30th, right? This tooth over here, which has the silver cap on it, is hurting like crazy. It's not responsive to Orajel. Now, if I was to believe in a personal God, me and him would not be on good terms right now. Because just take it easy. I mean, universe, take it easy. You know? I mean, I don't know what I did that makes you think that I deserve all this. Personal God. But, I don't think like that at all. Uh, I think that things happen. Sometimes we don't know why. Genetically, I could have bad teeth. The timing on everything is what's weird, though, you know? It's like, I get 5 teeth pulled, right? And that was on the 30th. On the 31st, on Halloween, I'm laying in bed. I'm like, oh, thank God my teeth don't hurt so bad, you know? I'm in a good frame of mind. I'm at peace. And the tramadol seems to be doing its job because it hurt like I punched that door. It hurt like that door would have hurt if it was a living organism the day before. But the next day, I woke up and it was like the pain was like reduced so drastically. It was amazing. And that was even before. Uh, I don't even think the pain pills had much to do with it. Is what I'm trying to say. But so I'm laying there like 24 hours removed from having 5 teeth removed, and water starts hitting the ceiling, and so you know the story. So that's why the Roy guy hates me now. Is because I'm like, I told him I had 5 teeth pulled and he's bothering me, and then he's talking to the landlord behind my back and all that crap. But yesterday he must have spoke to the landlord, and the landlord said we fixed whatever the problem was in Steve's apartment or whatever. But I told him like, we're done. I'm not speaking to you again. And he's just trying to suck me in, you know, and have he wants an enemy. He wants somebody to play with him. And like he's in his 60s. I'm 51 years old. I'll go as silly as punching the door, but I'm not silly enough to go into schoolyard blah 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 bullshit. I don't do that. That's kid stuff. And he didn't like I said, I'm not going to explain the whole point. It's like the point is you don't go getting in other people's business and going behind their back talking to the landlord about stuff that's happening in their apartment that really know nothing about. You made a lucky guess. There was an actual situation going on. Good for you, but it doesn't matter. You don't do that. You don't go behind someone's back and call the landlord unless they did something to you personally. Like, I don't know, if anything. You just don't do that. It had nothing to do with him. So that kind of invasion of my business, I will not tolerate. So that's exactly what he wanted. That's like personal trolling. The whole point of him writing whatever it was he wrote, and I said email. Of course, it wasn't email; it was a text. I was very nervous yesterday because I knew that I wasn't going to pull that punch, and I also know that Thomas the Hitman Hearns, who I referenced and who I used to resemble in my youth physically, Uh, had lots of problems with broken hands. So I was like, this could be like gloved or not, this could be like bad. So, um, anyways, the point being is like he's trolling me, want me to get in the back and forth with him. What you do is you just ignore it. And it's like I'm sorry that you're not a nicer person. I'm sorry that you're alone in the world, basically, except for your daughter. I don't think he's too fond of you, and your grandkids. That's when he's the happiest, is when he's around his grandkids. I'm sorry about all that. Life sucks. You don't got to tell me life sucks. I've been nothing but a good friend to you. You don't do that. And if I have to explain that to you, that you don't do that. It was his idea anyway. He was like, I'm done with you. You know, it's like, okay, let's be done with each other. I don't have a problem with that. I'm gonna be moving out of here. My mom was a religious person, and I do believe in the power of belief. That you could, if I didn't believe in the power of belief, I wouldn't be here, because you know, I would just, if you don't believe or have faith that maybe life holds something good for you, you don't last too long. If you have the kind of problems that I have, you shrivel up and die like a little spider. But you know, I guess maybe he doesn't understand that. I'm not going to explain to him that I talked to the landlord, and the landlord actually laughed at him when I said that he actually thinks that the tub was going to come through the ceiling. And the landlord said that was zero chance of that happening. That's why I was misspeaking quite a bit during that. It's like I only felt a little bit in my wrist, because that door is solid, man. And thank God for my door. I should be kissing that door, not hitting it, because it blocks out sound beautifully. But as the war vet in apartment 3 would say, that door ain't no hope. I mean, it could take a punch. Now, if I was a showman or a phony person or whatever, I would have hit that door in a different place so it made a big boom. You know, I wouldn't have hit it so close to the hinges. I would have hit it in the middle of the door. But I already did that before, and the door bent in and skinned my knuckles. And I don't know what that kind of wood does that, or what the hell that is made out of, but it bends, because I think I said that before, that I punched it toward the middle and got off a better punch, but my fist sunk into the door and skinned all my knuckles. I did have my knuckles wrapped up. I didn't really put that much thought into it. I mean, I'm punching a door. How much thought would anybody put into punching a door? But I said I would do that because I was always talking about, like, I had the gift of a heavy right hand, and I watched the video a few times, and I was like, oh, that doesn't look like much, but to maybe the untrained eye. But you gotta remember, that's not a person I'm hitting. That is a solid door, about yay thick. And I hit it hard enough, it made me lose my balance. And my plant leg has a Baker cyst in the knee and a broken toe, which I was had taped up yesterday with band-aids. I finally got some band-aids. And the tape that I worked didn't work. I hope it doesn't end up like that, but it may end up just like split, deformed like that, because if I don't have anybody to help me, I just waited for, see, I broke it on uh, Friday, so it was, I wrapped it up with tape on Saturday, and the tape didn't hold. I was too worried about cutting off circulation. so the tape didn't hold, and when I put weight on it, it splits apart like it's deformed, you know. So I don't want it to heal that way. And I talked to my cousin in Florida, and his nephew broke his toe, and it did the same thing. And he said that's all that they did when he went to the doctors. They taped his two toes together just like I did. But I wasn't diligent about it because um, I just didn't want to mess with it. I don't know. I just wasn't diligent about it, so I didn't check it out the next day and make sure it was taped together, and it just may heal funky. But I cleaned it all up yesterday and doctored it and whatnot. But anyways, I woke up way too early, like 4 o'clock in the morning. It is 8 degrees here, and a terrible thing happened yesterday. What? A terrible thing happened to you? How can that be? But it may or may not sound terrible, but believe me, this is terrible. So I got the cat to come into the house for the winter time, and one of the reasons he got thrown out of in the first place is he dropped a couple of deuces on my bed, which weren't nasty at all. I mean, what the hell are you doing, cat? So I was still thinking about that yesterday, and I'm off walking around. I forget what I was doing, and I'm like, I don't trust you in that bedroom alone because I seen him go into the bedroom. So he's laying by my feet, which I like. I like the fact that he's not, of course, cuddling up around my sensitive skin area and all that crap. And he, not in a hurried way, not like, oh, it's an emergency. But the door is not open because it was just kind of pushed shut a little bit because it's getting cold around here. It's probably about 8 degrees outside right now. This is the coldest night we've had of the year. But he meows over everything. He meows if he wants petted. He meows if he wants food. Whatever he wants, he meows for. So he jumps off the bed. I'm like, where are you going? And I seen him laying back there once. So I thought maybe he was going laying back there so I didn't freak out. I don't know if it would have helped. Yeah, it would have helped to freak out because it's kind of hard to take a dump right over there behind the bed if somebody's chasing you around, you know. But that's what he did. It's like I'm like John Gotti, okay? John Gotti had 23 hours in his prison cell and he was allowed 1 hour out of it. So, you know, this cat is foul. Some cats' stuff stinks worse than other cats. This cat is foul. And this bed is not a movable object. It doesn't have any wheels on it. There's no moving it. I put the headboard there first when I moved in here, and then I put the bed. So being a cat and tiny, he goes back there, and there's a bunch of bed bug poison back there, so I don't know why he thought this would be a good idea or why he did it at all. But he takes the foulest, rottenest, nastiest, bottom of the barrel shit you could imagine, like right there in in a place. I smelled it. I thought like, well, he went in the closet, you know. But it was almost like he knew he was doing something bad because no, it's probably because I raised my voice. Like, what did you just do? And he ran into the closet. But it's like right there. I can't. I would have to be about that tall to get to that because the only way to get to that is to somehow back this gigantic scooter out of here, which it was hell moving it in here, wheels, front wheel first, and then tip this very heavy headboard up on end after removing the microphone, slide that out somehow, which I don't even know if there's room for that because the window is right there, so I don't even know if there's room to tip that on end. In other words, a healthy person would have a healthy, strong person would have like an hour chore ahead of them. It's a complete impossibility for me to do this. So what it ended, and it's like 3 feet from my head. Whole place is reeking. It's like it's already 25 degrees out. You know, it's happened during the day. So I open the window and I put the fan in, and I still can't get the stink out. And then until kept the heater on and until it was 40 degrees, I didn't even really feel the cold all that much. I was so like freaked out and disturbed by the whole thing. And so yeah, you know that kind of ruins your day. So the only thing I can do is sneak back there, and I got like a piece of Tupperware, and I'm like throwing cat litter over top of it to try to cover it up. And I'm like, well, that's not working. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to suck it up and do it. It's not gonna feel very good because I threw a bunch of cat litter back there, and then I took a broom and I tried to push the litter over top of it, but it just wasn't enough. So I was like, gotta suck it up and do it. So I gotta climb up on my bed, drag my broken toe and my baker's knee across the bed, lean over the edge over here, and dump a bunch of stuff on top of it, which wasn't tricky. I actually had to ricochet it off of the wall, and because of just the way it was situated, there's like the bedboard, and then there's the pile of dookie. Now, okay, my life is very unpleasant, but why do things like this happen? The cat can just go to the door. He's done it before. What, if anything, is going through his mind? Like, too far. Or like, oh, the door's not open, so I'll just take a big steaming pile in here next to my saviors. That's what you really are to a cat. I mean, I'm saving him from a stray cat's life. Um, let's take a big giant steaming pile right next to my savior's head. And so, that's why yesterday I was just freaked out. Okay, I'm just freaked out. Right now, I thought through so many pounds of litter back there that it's like I'm not going to be living here too much longer. Anyway, um, but I was like, that's it. You're outside. He knows he done something bad. Because sometimes I yell at him. He'll just look at me. He knows I'm not happy with him, but he just look at me. But this time, when I opened the window, he did not try to, like, sometimes I can't get him to go out the window. Like I said, he adopted the white cat's bad habits. And it used to be I just would pick up the broom and shake the broom up and down. And he knew it was time to go, and then he would run outside. But they instinctively know, when the temperature's going to drop like crazy. So he would, and well, he did this before a couple of days ago, but he's like, nope, not going outside, and he finds places to hide behind the refrigerator, places I don't even know where he's at, where I can't find him, and I'm, end up poking a broom behind the refrigerator or oven or some damn thing trying to locate this stupid animal to get him to go outside. Now yesterday he knew what he did was a bad thing. So I don't understand. I don't understand why he would do it. I don't understand why he would, I think I just wasn't thinking about it. I didn't close the door completely. I just had it shut, like, without, you know, shut all the way. It wasn't cracked open where you could easily run through it. But it's like, that doesn't sound like a major tragedy, maybe, but that's a major tragedy. I mean, Like I said, I'm John Gotti, dudes. I, 23 hours confinement in this room. I get out of this room about 1 hour a day. I live in here behind that very tough door, and I get my meals. I bring them back here and eat them. The bathroom, of course, which the cat should know this also is not in here, and that's about it, you know. And the lady seen I didn't have a TV, and she was like, "Well, they have a TV." The lady I'm screwing up my story. So I had this aid worker comes over, and she's like 63 years old. But I was like, "Well, I had these things that I wanted you to pick up because I needed band-aids for my toe." And uh, she's like, "Nope, I was sent here to do specifically told you housework." Man, did I hate that. People rummaging through your own stuff, and then like they're touching stuff that's nasty, and then touching stuff that's like um, not nasty. Let me think of an example. Okay, picking up a sponge, they have no idea where the sponge was been or where it has, what it's been has been used for. So, and then uh, putting it someplace next to foodstuffs. And like a really disturbing thing was like she's like, "Oh, this bathroom was filthy. I'm not sure why she went." And oh, she saw I had the bathroom door closed, and while she was running errands, um, I was like, you know what, it's gonna be 8 degrees, so I let the cat back in. I was just banning him from the bedroom. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna take him with me. If he wants to shit in the other place, whatever, I'll deal with it. You know, that's my sister, who I don't talk to, insisted that I have that cat, and that is a horrible. Don't ever give anybody a pet. I mean, 99.9% of the time, you're giving them expense, you're giving them annoyance, you're giving them work, you're giving them a tragedy because you get attached to them and they're gonna die. A puppy is just a tragedy waiting to happen. Now it worked out in the case of my brother, but he's gonna be crushed and he'll go through the tragedy part because it's a big dog that somebody gave my dad that really became his dog. It's a 135-pound mastiff. I think that's right. 135 to 150. His weight fluctuates because he's got health problems already. Dog's not even that old, but big dogs don't live very long. But that worked out in his case because he loves that dog, and it keeps him going and get, you know, because he's got clinical depression. Keeps him going, keeps him moving around. Everybody knows him in the neighborhood, and he has actual friends in the neighborhood. They happen to be very old people, but he's always liked old people. So you know I think 45 or 46. And he was the youngest child, but it worked out in his case. But in my case, you know, at the time, I was like, okay, this is a good neighborhood for cats. You know, um, I got all the woods back there and a stream you can drink out of, and you know, even having him as an outside cat, um, he's gonna want to go outside. You know, which he was mostly outside. He would meow at my door and beg to go outside. You know, he was like, oh, I want to go outside because he's a male cat that's not neutered. It's not my job to get him neutered if somebody gives me a cat, in my opinion. It's like, I didn't even want the cat. It's her irresponsibility for not getting her cats spayed and neutered and creating another cat and then palming it off on me. She's the one that should have been responsible for that. But I was like, okay, I'll take this cat off your hands. You know, I like cats, but I didn't really want it. wasn't like, oh boy, I can't wait to have this cat. It was just her idea. But anyways, so I decided to give him the governor's pardon, and you know, it's 8 degrees outside. I don't know. I lose track of time, so I don't know how long I've had him in the house or how that affected his undercoating, because cats got to grow an undercoating to handle Ohio winters, which means they have to be exposed to the outside constantly through the transition from summer into winter in order to handle 8-degree weather. So I didn't like the thought of him, outside freezing his ass off because he's been inside long enough to shed some of that undercoating, which his fur felt pretty luxurious. And, they handle cold differently than we do, and he's a cold weather animal anyway. So it's probably just me um, being foolishly soft-hearted. Um, but plus, I'm going to be moving anyway. I can't convert him back into an outside cat and then like reconvert him back into an inside cat because he's a stupid idiot. Um, the thing of it is I love the way people break things to you, really cheerfully. Like the worst person to call for comfort is the guy in Florida because he'll always have a story. I forget what story I told him when I hurt myself that really, it actually made me laugh. The horrificness of it. I described something that happened to me, and he was like, well, this happened to this one guy, and he had to chop his arm off or some crap like that, but he was talking about a broken toe. And he's like, yeah, this one guy broke his toe, and they, to make it short for you, they said either the toe's got to go or the whole foot because your toe got infected and you got gangrene in your toe. It's like Mr. Comfort, you ain't. Yeah. So, anyways, uh, I have no reason to be in a good mood. It's just something I got from my mom, I guess. Even though it wore off at the end of her life, once I can't imagine. This is a transition, but I can't imagine things from my mom's point of view at all. So the fact that she held together and was a cheerful person all the way, let's see, all the way almost into her 70s, it quite amazing. Uh, you know, I don't know. Um, but that has a whole bunch of background to it we don't need to go into uh, because this would be I have a therapy uh, disc about that I put on in a secret place on here. Ooh, secrets. It's very complicated. It's such a complicated story that you actually have to. I honestly feel like I am the only person in the family that sees the full scope of the horror involved from her point of view. So I'm not surprised that she lost her mind toward the end of her life. And they said it was dementia or whatever, but really, she just withdrew and withdrew more and more. She used to like to go to her church groups, and and she was like outgoing and stuff, and then she started having more. I don't know if it was problems with her legs or what it was, but she went using a walker, like that one over there. And started out using a walker, and then that was like 2003, and then she died, and she was using that walker. I remember in 2003, and then she died like 12 years later. in 2015. So, anyways, I just feel like you know, there's there's people that like are better at putting themselves in other people's shoes and seeing things from other people's points of view. It's one of the curses of imagination and uh, certain types of talents. They don't come for free. It's like if you're a, if you're a writer or you're imaginative or whatever, like it means that you can think of things that other people can't think don't think of, and some of them can't think of. And that means also, if you have anxiety to go along with it, that you can dream up all kinds of possible scenarios and things that could happen. So, that's kind of neat. Now, the lady who was here cleaning my house yesterday, um, opposite kind of person. She's a worker, and she worked her butt off, and nice enough lady and stuff like that. But it's like opposite kind of person. Like she's in the moment, and I don't think she's troubled too much by imagination and whatnot. But she wasn't too down with my toe when I was asking her to help either. It's like she wasn't thinking like that thing might hurt a little bit. It's not supposed to be that color, you know. But not not a tough guy, but I'm not unfamiliar with pain, so I was like, yank it away, lady. I was like, here, let me pull my toe apart there so you can put the band-aid in and all that crap. I'm just trying to splint my two toes together with band-aids in such a way that I don't have to worry about cutting off circulation and losing the toes, because I don't have proper feeling in my feet. But anyways, I did not enjoy that experience, of having somebody else clean your house, rearrange your stuff, and the way she was handling stuff, you know, and the coup de grace is I had like a sponge. Well, that's where I digressed. Is when she opened the bathroom door because she was like, the bathroom door was shut. And I was just let the cat in like right before she got home, or got back here, and she's like, you gotta keep the bathroom door open, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm not stupid. I let that slip out. I was like, I'm not stupid. Of course, you gotta keep the cat's bathroom door open if you got a cat and the litter box is in the bathroom. You know. And she said, oh, I wasn't saying that you were stupid or anything like that or trying to insult you or whatever. And it's like, I just let him in like 5 minutes ago. You know. It's and then sat back down on my toe. I had my toe, like I didn't have a basin to put my foot in, and I got a pretty giant foot, so I had it all crumped up in like this pan, and 'cause I was trying to soak it to really clean it. I mean, to really clean all the, just to see how bad it was. So, um, see if I was going to lose the nail to it and all that. But I actually had a rivet mark in my big toe because my foot was jammed in there, and it was really painful. And there's a rivet in this one of those big like pans you might cook, um, you might boil spaghetti in or something like that, or cook a stew. You know, it had a rivet, and there's like a rivet indented in my big toe from it, and like deep. So I was like, my poor foot is just all crammed in there. You know, it was crammed in there like a fat lady in a spandex suit in a Walmart, and that hurt. Man, that part of it hurt. I was like, it got to be done. So that's what I was doing. And then once I was satisfied that I had soaked it long enough, and and I was washing it up with soap and water, a washcloth and whatnot. The cat started meowing, and I was like, I'm going to be listening to that plaintive, pitiful meow all winter. Every time I'm out of its prison cell for my hour a day. Um, because there's nothing wrong with his hearing. And he'll wait around outside and sit at that window at least for a while before he gives up the idea that the timing is not likely. It takes an animal a lot longer to give up on a thing than a human being. So I was like, I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to sit there and feel guilty. I think it's about 8 degrees out right now, and I reasoned it out. Like, if I'm going to take him with me, it's got to be a house cat anyway. So I have to forgive a capital crime like that, and let him back in. Just never let him in the bedroom, which I actually do like. When he lays down by my feet in the bed, I actually like that. And you know, he's not a young cat either. He's not. I think he's past his prime. So um, I think he's maybe 7 years old. I think that sounds about right. Uh, but yeah, you think I had a good night's sleep or something like that? Me talking this fast. Either that, or I got put too much sugar in my coffee. I don't know which. But here's to the days when I can do something else besides sit out on a computer and talk somebody's ear out. But yeah, man, that last swig of coffee, for instance, didn't do that too thing good. And you know, I don't think they'll. I think I'm just gonna have to put up with it. The problem is I could put up with it, but Orajel doesn't seem to work on it. But today's the 13th. Maybe I can schedule an extraction, which she doesn't really want to extract that tooth. You know, she seems to care more about my teeth than I do. Like, my teeth, fuck my teeth. They don't do nothing but hurt. They're ugly teeth. They're cracked and broken, and they're a lost cause. I've accepted the loss of my teeth, whatever. But she was like, wanted to keep that tooth, and she said, "Oh, this will make a good anchor for a partial plate." And like I believe I mentioned in another video, it's like they would not save this front tooth because the cavity or whatever you want to call it was too close to the root. Like, they will, if if it's something that needs like a certain dental procedure, like I think a cap, crown, no, I think it's called a crown or something like that. But if it needs a certain dental procedure, my insurance won't cover it. It's like would have cost $1,000 on that one tooth that's no longer there. That tooth, in my opinion, looked worse, but she wanted to save that one and wrote it up on the insurance differently. So now, what do I got? I mean, that was maybe a year. I don't keep track of time. At least a year ago. But now what do I got? I got a horribly painful tooth that's got to come out, and those rear extractions are the worst. And I got to at least suck it up for another 6 days because I don't want to get an extraction and then have to go into that very important appointment about me moving and talking to my psychiatric nurse or whatever. But yeah, speaking of the suck it up phrase, it's like, that's not fun kneeling kneeling on a bed and walking across with a broken toe and a Baker system in knee. Very painful. And I think I covered that. That's what I had to do. But it's like I just need a break from nonsense. I mean, just I'm not talking. I get a day or two here where I have like an okay day. But I mean, I'm talking about like a week. A week where I don't have anything stupid, tragic, painful, injurious, where I just don't fall on flat, you know, cut myself, bust up my shin. Uh, just just need a little bit of turning of the luck or whatever. And I'm talking to this lady yesterday, and they were like, "Where do you want to move?" She's like, "Where do you want to move to?" And I was like, "It's called the Mayfield Manor." She goes, "Yeah, I know that place." And then she was talking about some other places, and she was like putting the idea in my head that I would have to have my cat. Um, she said spayed, but that they'll let you have a cat, but uh, it's got to be neutered, spayed, declawed, you know. So I'd have to sink money into him to keep him and change his whole life. Yeah, I was like, you know, I mean, I'm not into the clawing cat. I don't. At his age, you know, doing all that stuff to him at his age. But if I get a chance to move in there, I have to move in there, and I got to figure something out with that cat. Maybe I can give him back to my stupid sister and pay him $100 a month to keep him. That's not a good neighborhood for cats, uh, for outside cats. Anyways, but yeah, he could keep his balls in his claws. But that's jumping ahead. I don't even know if that's a fact or not. You know, or I don't know how they run those places. There's over 55 communities, or even if I could sneak them in there. I mean, but that would throw a whole monkey wrench in the works as far as my plans of living there. Um, so that's why I was talking about my cousin in Florida with the gangrene thing. It's like, man, you people really know how to cheer a guy up, you know? Especially because since she wasn't sure, because she's an aid worker and they got clients all over the place, so she probably does have clients at the Mayfield Manor, but she wasn't sure if it was this retirement type community or that retirement type community or which one it was. And, you know, but she seemed pretty positive and very cheerful about this piece of possible information that she was imparting to me. So, um, it's like, you keep your mouth shut. It's like, you know what I mean? Like if you know something for sure, that's fine. It's almost like I think I see Jason like walking outside your window with a machete. Not sure though. Could be just the guy next door with the rake raking his leaves. You know, it's like, would you please just don't do stuff like that? Okay, if you got bad news, um, it's okay to deliver bad news. But if you got like possible bad news, like your doctor doesn't come up to you and say, "Well, I think you need to prepare yourself because you could have cancer." You know, we're not sure yet. We're not sure yet, but this type of thing looks like cancer in other people, and we've met other people that look like you, and they had cancer. So, I'm just saying, it could be, it might not be. You could die, you might not die. You know, your life could be radically altered. It might not be radically altered. It's like, don't put my mind in a fucking blender right now, lady. Um, anyways, I don't know that yet, and I have to work something out where it's gonna involve find somebody I can trust not to mistreat him, you know, and he won't be happy. He's bonded to me and really nobody else. He's not a people cat, but he can get used to another person. An ideal an ideal situation would be my brother if my brother loves animals and loves cats, and his cat just died a while ago. But that would be an ideal situation if he didn't have a 135-pound mastiff, because he's always needing money, and maybe we can work something out. Quit hurting. Um, what am I gonna do? Yeesh. I was just expecting, like, before this really started hurting, I was just expecting this to be like a checkup visit, check out healing. Maybe want to do a spackle on something up here. Now I'm thinking I actually might want him to pull this today. So the next day, a flood will come through my ceiling. But yeah, I actually think I want this. I want this gone. I think I'm gonna bitch about it at the dentist. Like, I go to the dentist at 1, like, loudly. I think I want it gone. It's not responding to that Oragel stuff. It doesn't. You know, it's like I guess it's a thing where whatever the thing it's called, where they cover the whole tooth. Well, she was explaining that they don't get those to fit, so it leaves a space. And if you ask me, that tooth should have been pulled in the first place. But I'm not ready. Life don't care if you're ready or not. Steve, you should know this shit by now. But I'm not ready for more uh, mouth trauma. I'm not ready to come home with the gouge in my face. I'm not ready for this. Um, but it hurts, and maybe I can hang in there a week. I mean, if they'll take it out today, man, just take it out. But I don't know, because they even have an expression among dentists. I don't know exactly how it goes, but they said it about they had a real difficult extraction back here on the same tooth, and it's like it was something like fear the rear molar that stands alone. You know why? They were like they swapped this little dental aphorism between themselves. But she couldn't do it. She didn't have enough physical strength to pull the tooth. They bring in a relief hitter, or no, a relief pitcher, or a pinch hitter. And this guy actually held my forehead down. It took so much force to get that tooth out of there. And I had that extraction. Uh, that extraction actually was part of my breakdown that I had in December of 2017, because it just didn't go well. There was a bunch of shards of bone left in there. I didn't know about nobody bothered to tell me that happens, and the shards of bone. I thought they fucked up the whole extraction since it was so painful and it went so badly. So that could be what I'm looking into today. If they pull this tooth, which I fully expected them to pull over a year ago because it looked horrible. And like I said, I don't know why she wrote that up different. I think she just wanted to save it and make an easy heart and make a partial plate heart saying like you're talking too much about bad shit. But give me some good shit to talk about. You know. Like I said, I'm not really ready for more mouth trauma. Let's see, the 30th, 31st, the 1st, um, about 15 days. She might want to wait and schedule that mercenary, that oral surgeon that they have that I guess is in there 2 to 3 times a month. In the meantime, what the hell do I do though? To sit there and live in fear that that's going to blow up into a toothache and smear Orajel on it, not eat anything, get skinnier, because that's one of my last chewing surfaces too. Uh, yeah, I try to make cheerful videos, but reality is reality. It is what it is. And 51 minutes. Hey, you know what to expect by now. You know what you got into. So, um, I don't know. The cat is just like an added annoyance too, because I wake up in the morning to meowing, feed me, you know, and I'm miserable when I wake up in the morning, immediately in the morning. Um, sometimes I'm miserable for hours. Sometimes I'm miserable all day, but I'm always miserable when I first wake up in the morning, and that's what I get when I open my door. That is the first thing that happens is this cat hits me in the face. And I actually had the nerve to try to run in the bedroom like right off, which I was like, nope. I didn't kick him, but came pretty close to put my foot right in his face and yelled a stern warning to him. The bedroom's off limits. Because now if there's a litter back there piled about that high, that's just what I need, right? A cat litter box like right there behind the bedboard. But you know, if you're a guy where hornets are pouring through your ceiling, um, and the guy upstairs sprays for roaches, and you still have roaches, um, which the landlady, or not the landlady, what the hell am I talking about? The worker lady found a few and said, roaches, and was freaking out trying to smash them because I got this paste stuff that wiped them out for a while, but they're making a comeback, and I don't know why they would be making a comeback if it's, you know, I did a real thorough job of spreading that stuff around, and so I didn't have any for a while, which means they're probably in one of these other places in this hellhole, and probably with the crackhead that brought them here in the first place. Uh, but yeah, that's my landlord. He, you know, like he. Uh, I don't need to know that I'm gonna get roaches chased into my apartment. I don't need to be prepared for that. That's what happened. They brought them in, and now they live here. They probably live up there too, and they're just keeping quiet about it. They'll keep quiet about it until it's time for the next Stark Metropolitan Housing inspection, and then, you know, she'll have something done about it. and then she'll chase out the two illegal boarders, and they'll go hide somewhere for a while, and get everything ship shape so that money, so your tax dollars keep rolling in there. You notice how I'm trying to like make you angry at it too. So your tax dollars can roll on in there and pay for people that are just sitting around getting high all the time. But uh, yeah, this is. I mean, like I said, I'm fairly resilient, like mentally. But you pile, strongest camel in the world can only carry so much straw before that back breaks, and stuff just keeps happening. And like I said, that seems like a ridiculous thing to think of as a major tragedy, but if you live in it, it's right there. That's a major freaking tragedy, and the problem solved really disgusting. But you know, that guy that was sitting on that ladder that looked around briefly and said, "This fucking place is disgusting." Now it's even more disgusting. Um, oh shit! I woke up with a headache. I don't know why that was. I don't remember my benzo intake yesterday, but after that cat, I think that's how it went down. It's like I think I took four instead of the usual three. I think I took four 10 milligram volume pills because I know I took one after that cat did that nastiness, and then I think I took two to go to sleep for pain um, last night, and I think that's bad. That's why you gotta write stuff down. So a lot of times I don't remember. I did remember to stop taking the blood thinners, but maybe that's extraction shouldn't happen today because I wasn't expecting it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Why does life have to be like this? You know? And then I see these people that are like healthy and just hate themselves or miserable, and I'm like, man, I don't get it. Or they can't stand. There's these can't stand to be alone people too. You know, it's like they, it's like man, you gotta love yourself. You gotta like yourself enough to enjoy your own company. I think if you don't like yourself, I think um, you're gonna have a hard life. You're gonna have a hard time. Oh, I'm just silly. I get like that when I get stressed. I was just wondering if I could get any echo out of this cup. No, guess not. No more coffee for me. But yeah, I don't like people in my house mess with my shit. Found that out. I never had nobody just come in here, a stranger just come in here randomly rooting through all my crap. Well, here's the thing I didn't mention is like she was like rooting through this. I mean, she was like a flurry of energy. She's 63 years old. She's like a flurry of energy, and like she started rooting through this area where I stashed my suicide pills. And if she would have picked up, it's like a mug you get at a Speedway with a screwed down lid, and I put them in plastic bags because I was like, well, I'm going to have somebody come in here and clean. I can't have like 80 million pill bottles, which probably would have been the wiser course of action now that I'm thinking about it. But I mean, I got a cluster of pill bottles, like uh, 15 bottles of this drug that's a highly effective suicide pill, and I poured them into plastic bags so they would take up less room, and double bagged them in sandwich bags and with the seal. You know, they wouldn't have rattled then, I guess, if she would have picked up the mug. So I would have been okay. But I wasn't thinking that when she was rooting around in that area, you know, because that's a no-no. That's actually against the law to store prescription drugs in the wrong bottles or to have it not in a bottle. If you get caught by like a cop and you got a bag of pills, you can get in trouble. So, at least in the state of Ohio. So, you know, that would have been a bad thing. She was like, and she was like that. I mean, she was all in all. Like I said, I never did. I keep interrupting myself, and I'm very scattershot because I have more trauma facing me, I guess. But what she did that freaked me out is like I told you uh, that I have to self cap, which means you have to be very careful about your sink, right? So, or any chemicals or anything like that, because that's going to go inside your body. Your sink has to be taken care of. So this woman just, without thinking, reaches behind the toilet and grabs the sponge that I use to clean out the toilet that has caustic chemicals uh, in the sponge, like toilet bowl cleaner, and throws it. And I go, when after she leaves, I go into the bathroom, and she threw it on top of the spigot that I have to touch to turn the water on. I'm like, why would you do that? You know, I don't think she I, like she was totally invasive. I don't know, you know, no questions except for like she kept doing this really annoying thing. Like even with pennies, I'm talking one penny, she would like waste her energy and walk all the way back from the kitchen with one penny and put it next to me on this table, and like the, she kept doing that with whatever little bit of change she would find while she was rooting around through all my stuff. And like she was an odd cat. Uh, but yeah, that freaked me out big time because it's like that was behind the toilet for a reason. That's the toilet sponge. That's where that goes. You know, it's like she threw it like right in. It, yeah, I don't think I need to paint any prettier picture than that for you. Uh, Too much stress, man. Too much stress. This is how I deal with it, I guess. It's make an hour-long video. Low do I wish for the days of having a leg, because I would just walk, ride a bicycle, lift some weights. I should start doing that again. I can still do that with a broken toe and a bad knee. I even did that while I was going through withdrawal of Xanax, lifting weights. A couple of times I had some near mishaps, and I was like not lifting weights, like token weights. I'm talking like 30-pound dumbbells, and you know, I would get like this withdrawal thing where things would start to look really weird and like spotty and strange, you know, and I'd be in the middle of doing something where there's a potential of me dropping a 30-pound dumbbell on my foot, and I just have to stop for a second and do some other exercise where it's not so risky. I even lifted weights during when I was going through withdrawal because I was like, endorphins help me. It'll help me stretch out my spacing between my Xanax intake. That's what I was trying to get. Um, 24 hours in between taking out half a milligram of Xanax or a quarter milligram of Xanax or whatever. Way back when I didn't have any volume, or the only volume I could score was off of the street. And now, oh yeah, I sent that lady to another drugstore, and I didn't understand her explanation really at all, so I'm not going to bore you with the very convoluted explanation, but she said that the lady said that it had no refills on it. And I'm like, unless the doctor can cancel refills, it says one refill right on the bottle, you know, because the other drugstore, uh, you remember that? You may remember, I don't know why, if you remember this or not, but I had like, I went in and I told my doctor about my situation where I had to get the 5 teeth pulled, and he wrote me another prescription for Xanax, and at this time I didn't wait until the Xanax period was out to refill it. I said that way I can have a larger amount of it at a time. Like say, we'll pick a date, the 25th. He writes the prescription on the 3rd. It used to be you could bring the prescription in and they would fill it, but they told me, or they told me, maybe it's because I was using aid workers and it wasn't me personally, but they told them like, no, we can fill it, but it'll be ready for you. The date was actually the 24th. It'll be ready for you on the 24th. I can't give it to you before then. There might have been some change in the laws around here or whatever, but I sent this lady to a different drugstore, and no go. You know, I'm not really chugging in things. Obviously, do I seem like somebody who's volumed out of their mind? I don't think so. I'm not really chugging in things, anyways. Um, I think sometimes I'm supposed to take 3 a day, or not supposed to, but that's the, not supposed to take any a day, in my opinion, but, my prescription is for 3 a day. Some days I take 2 a day. Most days I take 3 a day. Yesterday I took 4 a day. Sometimes that happens. I might have had a day in there where I took 5 a day where I was, going to the dentist. But, it's not like I don't have enough to carry me through until the 24th. Anyway, but I was hoping to get ahead, have that security. And plus, uh, yeah, maybe that's what I'll do today. It's gonna scare the shit out of me, but I mean, even if they want to extract that today, I'll have her schedule me for an extraction after I go into the psychiatric nurse and be like, look, dude, they just pulled 5 of my teeth, and they're gonna pull this teeth, and this is a bad tooth to have pulled. And I'll tell them the story about how they actually had a big, strong guy hold my head down because it took that much force to get that tooth out. In the back there, it's the same tooth over here. And I'll just ask him outright about that question. I'm like, when you wrote that prescription, they won't, fill that prescription ahead of time. I thought that you had wrote me that prescription, um, because you realized that I might need more Xanax because I had other problems that were, of course, jumping on my back. like the monkeys in the Wizard of Oz. Uh, so I'll talk to him about it. I should be more prepared. I'll work out a write it out maybe on a piece of paper first, and like because I only have so much time with the guy, and obviously I am not a good manager of time when it comes to running my mouth because it's an hour and 10 minutes. Um, but maybe I can work something out to where yeah, it's like look, I'm not an addict. I'm a physically dependent person. It's like I can sit on pills, but if I need the pills, I need the pills. I mean, if I've got like a massive toothache and I'm freaking out, but yeah, I'll talk to him about it. I'll have to work it out in my head ahead of time, and it'll be 5 days. I'll have to hope that tooth don't go nuclear on me, but it doesn't respond because I think it's because it's under a cap. I can't show you it, but it's just a silver cap over the tooth. The cheapest cap, of course, because I've got shitty poor people insurance, and so I think that's what it is I can't get the Orgel into the space. I mean, I try with my fingernail and stuff, but I can't get it into the space where it needs to be to do any good, to give me a little relief from it. So that's the side I have to chew on. I don't have any teeth on the lower half here. So, yeah. Ooh, so much fun. Um, have to work out some kind of plan. Like I said, man, this is all like really unpleasant stuff to talk about. So the appeal of whatever these videos have must be um, inspirational. That's the last, like I said in another video, that's the last thing you want to be called is inspirational. Because that means you are having a fuck ton of bad luck or a fucked up life. So, you don't ever want to be inspirational. I don't want to be inspirational. Okay, I want to be just another guy. That's what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for mediocrity. God damn it. I'm shooting for the guy down the street that's just walking down the street, and you're like, look at that schlub. That's what I want. I don't want inspirational. I don't want uplifting. I don't want to serve that function. Um, it's not a bad thing from at least if it's useful, but I don't know, or maybe it's just people like a train wreck. I don't know. Um, or maybe it's just like what ridiculous thing is going to happen to this dude next. I mean, that's really not, from my point of view, that's not making my life more interesting though. It's just the stuff that happens to me is not, you know, it's not like a burglar holding me up at gunpoint, or getting pistol whipped in the street or something exciting. It's just mundane, nasty stuff, you know. Even getting sprayed with the bug poison, I mean, that's not exactly excitement. Uh, that's not action movie shit. Like water coming through the ceiling, fights with neighbors, having crackheads live above you, having ridiculous cats take craps in your John Gotti room, 3 feet from your head. None of this stuff is particularly exciting, interesting type of stuff. So it's not like you're like, this guy's. Uh, uh, I just can't wait to hear what's going to find out. What fascinating thing is going to happen to this guy next? It's more like I just can't wait. It would have to be like more. I just can't wait to see what's gonna happen to this poor bastard next because he is one unlucky dude. So I need to think the fact that I can maybe that's uh, maybe I am actually clinically insane, and that's why I can laugh at it, or maybe I think it's more likely that I've become so alienated that yeah, it's happening to me, and yeah, I feel it, and yeah, I smell it in some cases, but I'm so alienated that I can see the humor in it from an outside perspective, where it's like it happens to other people. They're like, well, or like, why me? It's like, whatever. I can just like, because I've suffered from such an early age, and it's created uh, that alienation from myself. I can look at it from the outside and say, man, that's ridiculous. That doesn't even make any sense. It's like, how could that happen? Or like, that's funny. I mean, you know, I was thinking for an example, like when I fell in the house after bragging about not having fallen. Within a minute, I fell, and it wasn't like you know, it wasn't like I did anything in particular to fall. I didn't take no ridiculous chance or risk to fall. I was on non-slip socks on a carpet and fell. And the Warvet guy was like, "That's not funny," and I was laying on the floor laughing. I'm like, "Yeah, it is." Because I had just got done saying, um, I told that story before, so I'll tell it again. It's like, all I did is he knocked on my door and wanted to talk to me, and I said, "Ah, we'll talk on the porch. I'll be out in a minute." And I was, I made a passing comment like, I always seem to be forgetting my cane. And he says, "Yeah, I noticed that." I said, "That's okay. I've been doing pretty good though. There should be a sign behind my head that says uh, 218 days in the workplace with no accidents." And then he laughed, and then like he went out on the porch and sat, and then I walked up to my living room to hand him something through the window and fell down immediately. And I laid on the floor and started laughing, even though I hyperextended the fingers on one of my hands because I grabbed the chair trying to catch myself. And he's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm sitting there laughing. And he goes, "It's not funny, you know." And it's like, yeah, it really is. It really is funny. So, yeah. Are you familiar with the ridiculous word fatuous? Meaning unnecessary. At this point, I'm going to make up a word because it might actually be a word, but I don't know if it's a word or not. But I don't know if I am drifting into fatuity at this point. But I can keep talking if you want me to. I'm sorry about the weird noise I just made. But I mean, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:19 to be exact. I don't have to be ready for my dental appointment until um, I have to leave here at 12:30. I do have to shave, and I'm not going to take a shower because I have my toe all wrapped up and doctored properly. I don't want to get it wet. Um, so I'll take the Mexican shower. Sorry about the racism. Um, it's Mexican race. I don't know. I always get confused on ethnicity, racism, and all that stuff because I just see people as people. Because, oh yes, I am just that holy. No, really, I do just see people as people. It's just like I don't. look at the exterior of a person, except for to say they ugly, or to say like, you know, just doesn't mean nothing to me. It don't mean nothing to me. Um, anyways, I forgot what the hell I was saying. So it's probably forget fatuity. It is probably getting time for me to wrap this up. My knee hurts. I'm not sure if it's from trying to throw a punch off the plant, like like I was explaining. And you don't think about this stuff while you're doing it, but that's the mechanics involved. But I forget what the hell I was talking about. So that's probably not going to come back to me. Um, but yeah, I can keep going. I can talk like until I can't talk anymore, literally, physically. Don't know why that is. But I think I was probably referring to the fact that I have hours to kill. You know, I've got like, all I got is a dentist appointment. I don't have, yeah, I don't have the nerves to work on my books and finish my audiobooks. I haven't gotten used to the new arrangement in my face, so I noticed that my voice, I am not pleased with the effect it's had on my voice, but that'll change. Maybe I'll get used to it. I don't know. It feels weird in there. You get 5 teeth yanked out of your head, that'll happen. Um, I know, um, like if your sinus cavities get messed with, if your nose gets messed with and stuff, I know it changed your voice because my niece uh, had a completely different voice after she got in an accident when she was a kid. It like changed her whole. It changed. She like smashed up her face horribly, and it like changed her whole life. And but it also changed her voice. Um, but I don't know if I don't know if like how much effect teeth have on a person's voice. If the soothing, I give up. Too many syllables. I don't know if the musical sound of my voice will change if I get too many of these teeth yanked out of my head or I have to talk through dentures or whatever. I don't know. I noticed a slight difference myself, but it's still in the healing process. Um, that would be a shame because it's one of my better features of my three. Of my three decent features, it's one of my better features. Um, but yeah, I got a lot of time to kill, and not many ways to kill it. So, um, but you know, I usually talk until I feel boring. Starting to feel boring. So, you know, I also realize that the boredom point off for people probably is, probably happens much earlier in these videos than um, it does for me. Because after all, I am the one that's getting the joy of self-expression here. And the stuff that I'm talking about is not, you know, let's just say that dental extractions, tooth pain, uh, cat excrement, um, unpleasant neighbors, these are not scintillating topics. Okay? It's like, it's just, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen today. I don't, that doesn't hold a whole lot of appeal for someone with anxiety. It's like, I used to like that when I was young and healthy, you know. I didn't suffer from anxiety. I didn't have a messed up body. And I used to like that. I mean, I didn't like it when I was a kid because I was traumatized as a kid, and you know, I, like I said, I grew up in a madhouse, and you had to like read the room and read people's moods and stuff. And then I would go to school, and I was like, how the hell do you read a whole damn school? You know, like because you want to know what's going on. You want routine. You want safety, and you want confidence and predictability and stuff like that when you grow up in a dysfunctional household. And so naturally, school was torture for me. But after I reached a certain age, and after I had my mind expanding experience when I was 20, I used to actually like the idea of, you know, like I said, I put $800 in my sock and had people just drop me off in Georgia. I live in Ohio. You know, I like the I used to like the idea when I was more confident in my body, and it worked a little better. I was stronger and could take care of myself better. I used to like that unpredictability, but now I was like that was just causing me anxiety, just like when I was a kid, and that is a depressing thought. So I don't like it. It's not the unpredictability of like what is going to happen today when I wake up in the morning that keeps me going. Um, because what is going to happen today is usually what plague is am I going to get hit with today? You know, will it be locusts, frogs? I don't have any firstborn at least. I don't have any children. So yeah, that's not really what keeps me going. Uh, as you can probably understand. Um, the unpredictability of my life. My life actually has become quite predictable in that bad things will happen. So I should probably feel comfortable and secure in that fact, right? I should probably be like, today some fucked up nasty shit is gonna happen to me. Ah, isn't it great to just have that safety and knowledge and security and predictability? But, yeah, they. But what really um, keeps me going is I don't know. I have like some reservoir, maybe acquired when I was 20 years old, when my mind expanded of joy and peace that I have access to. Um, when I don't know what you would refer to it. Like the lady last night, she was like said something about God, and I was like, and she was like, I don't know what you believe, or like I was gonna freak out. Like, God, you just say, God, get the fuck out of here right now. She acted like that. And I was like, look, you said it's just something you believe. I mean, it's like, that's none of my business what you believe. No, I didn't say it that way because that sounds like combative. I was like, I shouldn't be concerned with what you believe. Is what I said. It's not none of my business. Whenever you say it's not none of my business, it sounds like combative. You don't want to say that. Use that phrase too often unless you're trying to get information out of somebody. This person was saying I didn't mean to give you this information, but she was talking about God, and she's like, I was like, oh, I don't care about that stuff, like about what people believe. It's like that's not my concern. It's like that's their beliefs. It's theirs. And she's like, I don't care about it either. Like I have talking about either a relative or somebody that's an atheist, and she was talking about an atheist and a believer being married and how it's they clash over it. And I'm like, yeah, that would be a difficult thing because I don't know what my dad believed because my dad was an odd dude. He believed in the knife, you know, and the power of violence. I understand that. Uh, but as far as what he believed about the universe, life, um, you know, let's just say I never had any deep philosophical conversations with my father, which that's kind of what I would want. If I had a kid, I would start that stuff in kid terms, very young. If he wasn't a thinker, you know, if he was more like a physical, active type of dude, I wouldn't burden him with it. But if he was a thinker, like I was a thinker, that is what, my dad was a thinker. He loved to read. Like I said, when I would go to the library, I would have to get him books because he was too backward or weird or whatever to get his own library card and go. He would take me to the library but wouldn't go into the library and get his own books. So I would have to get like extra books for him because he would read all the books. But I would just hope like I'd have the books that I was hot to read and like, damn it, he picked that one. I won't get to read it for a couple of days, you know. And but I would get like 10 books when I really only wanted to get 5 or something like that. So I knew he was a thinker, and that's what I would do with my kid if I had a kid. It's like I would start with the philosophical, what you think about, what do you think about life? Just keep it in kid terms. Like as soon as I realized what kind of kid I had, if I had a fortunate kid that wasn't a thinker and like just live in the moment, I would not trouble him with that kind of stuff. But if I had a thinker of a kid, it's like I would want those conversations. And and me and my dad never had that. I never had no philosophical type meaning of the universe. Do you believe in God? What do you think about it? Type conversations. He used to drive my mom to church and drop us off at church and then go home and then come back. Or sometimes he'd just sit in the car. And, uh, so I think I think he's probably an atheist, or if he wasn't an atheist, he felt like he'd burst into flames or something if he walked into a church, um, for the things that he'd done or something. I don't know. So I do know that I am having trouble remembering, the callbacks in this monologue, so that's not a good sign. And this isn't helping. What the hell to do about it, though? If I get it pulled today, and today's the 13th, I got till the 18th. I don't even know if they'll pull it today because they'll be like, well, this stuff here isn't healed up yet. We'll put more trauma on me, and it's a bad tooth. And but she was like, I didn't want to hear that anyway. That was her idea to put that cap on it. I expected that tooth to get pulled. And right now, I wish it would have got pulled. But yeah, what do we got here? An hour and 34 minutes. Kid stuff. I can talk for 3 hours. Nobody wants that though. Nobody wants. Please do not waste your time listening to me talk for no 3 hours ever. If I ever do that, I'm gonna push the hour mark, maybe even went over the 2 hour mark before I go, please don't do that. Your life is much more precious, um, you know, than to listen to some old man who likes to punch doors and who has horrible luck, philosophize and jump from subject to subject, and go into hypothetical realms of whether he had children or whether how he would treat them. I figure it like this, or I always thought of it like this. It's like I would never have made a suitable father because you learn how to be your parents from your parents. I grew up in a crazy household. I had physical problems. I had no money. And that stuff about like all kids need is to be loved. Yeah, kids need to eat. They need teeth. They need somebody that can take you. You know, you have to be financially prepared for the burden of having a kid. Uh, you know, and I understand that people derive a lot of joy from having children, and it's like one of the things that I will never know that. And you know, if you have anxiety too, man, having a kid, man, it's got to be torture. You're worrying about your child all the time. Um, but I kind of knew that, you know, that wasn't a good idea. I was surrounded by it. Like, you know, I was surrounded by aunts and uncles who were raising horrible people because they had no clue themselves because of the way they were raised um, on how to raise a child or treat children or how they even be decent human beings themselves. So, you know, um, like, like what are we talking about here? Talking about like what my idea was just to wait, like I said, for that uh, inscrutable, indescribable pull towards another human being of the opposite sex. Where it's like, I've heard it described by many people. Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, like, you know, put it that way. Like, once you meet a person, it's on some kind of instinctive gut level. Like, okay, something something hits you in the solar plexus. And like I waited for that, and you know, I don't think I don't, how old was that woman I fell in love with? Um, I was 35, and I think she was 38, and yeah, I don't think we would have been having any kids. Women can have kids into their 40s and stuff, but yeah, I wasn't really, I don't think, ready to be a father then either, and I had physical problems. It was very energetic though, you know. You gotta have energy if you're gonna have kids. Um, you know, didn't really know that much about her. Like I said, I can't remember even if she had kids or not. Or from, you know, I know she had relationships, of course, which she referenced a few times in negative terms. And you could just see that somebody had broke her heart before. It's written all over. Um, and it's not right saying it was written all over her. It's just like we had a brief few words that, you know, I was like, she had that idea about not trusting people, you know. But that's what I waited for. It was like that. I don't know, like a mystical type of thing. Like, yeah, this is the person I should pursue, and meet plenty. I met plenty of other women before, and never felt anything like that. So, uh, yeah, very unlikely that I would have ever had children. I guess I was capable, according to my doctors, of reproducing, but you know, I don't like pine away for having heard that part of my life really not a big deal. Not don't have children and never am gonna have children. It's because I'm not well suited to being a father, and you know, there's also that other thing with the where you have to actually do that one physical thing in order for that to happen, unless there's some kind of in vitro thing involved. There's also that barrier, but you know, it's a very different life. You know, my life's very, very different life than what other people have. The things that other people do, I hate using cliched phrases, but the things that people take for granted are things that I've never had, never will have. You know, imagine if one day I woke up and I didn't have a condition and I just put a shirt on and it felt comfortable. And if I was capable of it, I would do cartwheels around the room. Jumping off of the bed, I would jump up on the bed like Ebenezer Scrooge on Christmas morning. So, you know, but I think my brain's pretty exhausted, and this is an hour and 42 minutes now. And I know that's very annoying for me, but I am a little self-conscious about my ability to monologue endlessly. And it's just, I don't have a whole lot else to do. Now I got broke, you know, what I'm going to do, get up and dance. Plus it's 8 degrees outside. If I wanted to go outside and sit on the porch, I couldn't do it. Too damn cold. Break out the winter coat today, the gloves and the hat and stuff when I go to the dentist. But this is a nightmare. And yeah, it's just teeth are very unpredictable. Like sometimes I get a toothache and it goes away for a while, and then it comes back and it goes away. With this thing, it's getting to the point where it's getting a little too homey. It's feeling a little bit too much at home. That pain. And I swear to God, the Orajel, putting the Orajel stuff on it, it actually is worse. Um, it actually seems to make it worse, not better. Maybe I'll try that. I got some other stuff I can try. Ambusol. And try to like pour that in there or something. I don't know. But not what I needed. Why are you tapping your area that's supposed to be healing? Not what I needed. The timing on it's bad. I have See, I have a heart appointment with a new heart doctor on the 27th. That so I have a space in there with that, and I can reschedule that if I want to. Hell, at one time I already just canceled it. I was like, what's the point? No point. I know exactly what the appointments are going to be. They're going to tell me. And they're going to check my cholesterol, put me on a different diet. What the hell are they going to do? They put you on these diets that you can't afford. Anyways, I'm too poor to live. Too poor to stay alive. Uh, yeah. But I can get out of here. Can't wait for it. Get out of this room. I don't know how I ended up getting. I don't remember the gavel falling and the judge sentencing me to prison for a year. I don't remember when. I know why. I know what crime I committed, and that crime is living here in this building. That was the crime that I got sentenced for. I don't exactly remember I don't remember the gavel falling in the court proceedings, and if I got to speak in my behalf and say, yeah, I'm a good man. I don't deserve this time thrown in prison. I don't deserve it. I'm just a good man from the South. Whenever I think of courtroom scenes, I always think of Southern accents. I don't know why that is. That was what I was trying to do. But maybe it's from the Scopes Monkey Trial movie or something. I don't know. Or other movies. Does that seem that way to you? Like before, like if you're an older fellow like me, why in the hell would I not suspect that if you've been watching me for 147 minutes? If you're an older person like me, you you have a different like time reference. Before they had all these CSI courtroom shows, they'd have these movies. And in the movies, they have these eloquent Southern lawyers. They would be dabbing the sweat off of their forehead while they was talking to the judge. And they would be all folksy. And I've never watched much Matlock. Maybe I should check out his accent. But maybe it's just me. Usually it is just me. You know, that has these weird associations and odd mental leaps where I'm like, okay, if it's a courtroom situation, it's got to be set in the South. But anyways, I don't. Maybe when I get out of this prison, um, I will. Things will change. That is kind of a promise I made to myself. My brother probably will not like the idea of having a cat around, but he will like the idea of having me close to visit him because he wasted a lot of minutes on my phone. And as much as he's telling me the other day on the phone, like as he loves living alone. Living alone is the shit. He says it's great. And I said, yeah, I kind of remember you wanting to live alone your whole life. And I brought it up even though he's sensitive about everything. I was like, as a matter of fact, I remember when I come back from the hospital and you took over the upstairs, and once I could walk up the steps, you said, I kind of figured out I was going to live up there um, by myself. And he said, yeah, but that wasn't really living alone. I'm like, I think you're missing the point, perhaps deliberately, but he means having a whole house to yourself. But The way he chatters on, like I'm doing now on the phone, tells me that he might like living alone for a lot of different reasons, but he needs company. And if I'm in that neighborhood, you know, maybe he will take my cat off my hands and let it be an outside cat and let let it like sleep in his garage in the winter times and feed it. And he likes animals anyway, so maybe that could be a solution if I move into that Mayfair Manor place and it works out the way I'd like it to work out. But um, my usual optimism in that area is not really there because I'm kind of thinking it'll be a waiting list. And it might be a long wait. In the meantime, prison. My parole officer, uh, the great parole officer in the sky, I don't think he's done with me. Like, yeah, you need some more time in stir. I think that's how it's going to work out. My other option is to move temporarily somewhere else. If I had family to take me in, that would be awesome. You know, because what if you move in with family, you can, my monies that I get from the government, it's not affected by how much rent that I actually pay. That only affects the food stamps I get, which I get $16 a month in food stamps. So, I can go there and tell that I'm officially paying X amount of dollars to live somewhere. Say, let's just make up a number. I'm going to pay $500 a month to live at my so-and-so relative's house. And then, we'll have an agreement set out ahead of time. Maybe that I will just pay for food, pay the grocery bills, or, pay a couple $100 or pay much less. And then I can stack the bennies. I can stack up money. Even if I'm stuck here in prison, I can still concentrate on that, stacking up money for a future that makes sense to me. But anyways, I should move around. It's 8 o'clock, and time has a way of flying before you have to go to the dentist. Time is a freaking osprey making a fish dive before you have to go to the dentist. And if you've ever seen that sight in nature, it's an amazing thing. I saw it once at a place called Zippernick, named after Frankenstein's monster, I guess. I don't know, but it was called Zippernick. And it was a lake with another lake on the other side of it. And I saw osprey make that dive into the water. You can barely follow it it moves so fast you can barely see it. It was the equivalent of watching that dolphin swim, where it's the fastest thing in the water I've ever seen. And it was the only blue, you know, flipper. That's too old of a reference. There's no modern dolphin references, but it was a blue dolphin, and it swam so fast that it was gone before its wake appeared. I was like, holy crap! But yeah, that was the equivalent of that. Seeing that bird dive now and grab that fish out of the water. Um, anyways, I have talked long enough, and I am pushing the 2 hour mark. And I have got to learn to stop doing that, because if you enjoy listening to me talk, I'm sure that's annoying as hell that I am interrupting my own flow with updates on how long you have been listening to me. That is not the point of getting lost in a monologue. Or imagine if you're reading a book and the author was telling you you're on page 75. You're like, oh, the killer stalked into the room. He pulled the ski cap over his head. Oh, you're on page 75 now. Bye.